So I'm going to start a new project, and this is by iCraft again, part of my ongoing series of using their kits to create various albums and things like that. This one's a little different. It's not an album. It's called an explosion box. Now, I have made something like this before in the past, but I didn't really use a kit. So I'm curious to see how this will work out. Now, inside this particular package, there is actually, you can make 3 of these exploding boxes, one in craft, one in black, and one in white. I'm going to concentrate on doing one in the craft. The reason being is, for video purposes, I think this will show up better on the camera as I make it. Now, this particular kit did not come with any instructions. We do have a diagram on the back, but this shows you 4 different pieces. So, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 5 pieces. So, oh, I see, this one down here says 2 pieces. So let's lay it out. In fact, these 2 look the same except there's different measurements. Okay, so let's see if we can identify our pieces here. So we have one that looks something like this. Is this the right size? Let's see, it's supposed to be 1 inch here. That's 1.5 inches, and that's 1.5 inches. So this one is this piece, and there's supposed to be 2 of them. And this is the next one, is it? I think. Let's just measure. Yeah. So those are this. Then we have a piece that looks like this. And this could be either this piece. No, this only has 1 tab, so it must be this one. Yeah. Okay. Then we have this piece, and it goes something, so that must be this piece. It's 1 inch, yep. And then we have this piece, and that must be that one. Okay, so all the pieces are here, but I'm not sure how to put these together. Now, there are score lines on here, so I guess the first thing we should do is probably fold the pieces up, so according to those score lines. So I'm not sure which way, whether it matters or not, but I am going to score all of these pieces, and we'll see if that gives us a clue as to how this should go together. I have a feeling I am going to have to consult their YouTube channel, and hopefully they show this one on there, because otherwise I might be a little bit screwed. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit through this as I fold all these pieces. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I went to the iCraft YouTube channel and I watched their short little video about how to put this together. It looks relatively easy, and I think I understand how to do it now, but I may have to go back to my computer while I'm doing this just to double check things. So these 3 pieces need to be assembled. And basically 2 of these are the inside drawer. Let me grab the cover of this. So you see in here there's like an inside drawer. These diagrams don't show you much, but in here, so 2 of these larger ones, these 2, go on the inside, and then this is the top. So let's see here what we can do. Alright, I'm just going to take this one, and I've already done some pre-folding here. Probably should give it all a better scoring, or better creasing, just to make sure everything goes together well. So what I'll do is I will show you on camera putting one of these 2 pieces together because they're both the same, and then I'll put the other one, or I'll do one on camera, that's what I'm trying to say, and I'll do the other one off camera so you're not sitting here watching this, but I think you'll get the idea from this. So I'm going to use double-sided tape, and this is actually what she used. She used a combination of glue and double-sided tape. And let's see, I'd have to put, this is going to go up here, so okay, I think Alright, so put a little bit of tape on each of these pieces here first. Not sure exactly where to place the tape. I'm putting it towards the top of these tabs. Okay, now let's see if that gets folded in, that'll go. So I guess I should have a piece along here. And here. Don't know if I really needed to put it on these tabs. It might be a problem. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this down now. Let's see if that goes up. Hope I'm on camera. This is kind of awkward in one way. So I guess I need a piece of tape there and a piece of tape here. I don't think I needed to put any tape on these little tabs in here, so I'm just going to leave those without taking off the backing on those. I am going to need my little pricky tool here, so let's see. Okay, so we take this one off first. I find this very, very awkward. Okay, I am all thumbs on this today. Let's see, take it one side at a time. Put that down there, stick that in there. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. Okay, that works. So I've got that together in there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, I didn't get that one quite. Oh yeah, I guess I did. No, I didn't. I have a little problem here. Yes, Houston, I have a problem here. Okay, this is maybe where glue would be a little better. So let's get out the Gorilla Glue. She used double-sided tape. Okay, just hold that in there for a minute. So essentially what we're doing, I'm building a little box. Okay. Then these flaps go inside over top of that. Let's just take our bone folder, go over that. Oops, this side is not adhering very well. Oh, crap. Okay. This is a struggle. This is a struggle. Now maybe not if you know, oh, I'm going to rip that. Okay, we're just going to leave that for a second. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll be back in a minute when I figure this out. I don't want you watching me struggling here. Okay, I went back and watched her video, and I think I see how she's doing it. I was going about it in a very awkward way. Now here's the first one. I did get it together, but what I've done is I've prepared this one the way she has. And she has a strip of tape on the inside of these flaps, and on the outside of the little one she's got a strip of tape. And what she does is she starts from one side, and she peels off her tape, and she puts the corner together. lines up, sticks it down, and then she goes to the next corner. Oops, I'm having trouble getting my tape off. Okay, there we go. And she folds that one in. So there you go. And she just goes around. You know, there's nothing saying I can't bend these things out of my way. Start with. Okay, so now again, I don't know if this would be easier if you used a wet glue. It would give you wiggle room, that's for sure. Okay, that one's in. Maybe just a question of getting used to this process, because this is going together a lot easier. That lined up. Not sure if I'm in shot. There we go. So I have those, and then what she does is on each of these flaps, she just peels off her protective coating on her tape and just drops it in. And similarly, but yeah, this is a lot easier than what I was trying to do. So live and learn. That's why I'm making this video, so you can avoid the pitfalls that I am having with these. And the last flap. And we'll just use our bone folder, give everything a good press down. Okay, so you can see there is a difference between the two. This one is kind of warped a little bit. I think if I kind of press in the corners a little bit, like sort of do a little bit of my own reshaping, they'll be fine. Okay, so we've got our two little drawers. That's what these are. Now this piece is the top of the box. So I'm going to go off and do that, and then I'll come back and I'm going to put these two pieces together, the interior of the box. I'll show you how that works in a moment. So for the inside of the box, which is the exploding part of it, I've gone back and I've reviewed the video from iCraft, and what she has done is she's taken these two pieces and she's put double-sided tape on all of these little flaps, and this one attaches to this. So that's what she did first. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to attach this piece. I think it might be easier to line it up if I do it upside. I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's easier this way. Yeah, I think it's easier this way. Okay, just lining up the two pieces along their crease lines. Oops, took a little tape with me there. And then what she did was she peeled off her backing tape. She does this all in fast motion as well, and she just folds those over. She does the same on the opposite side. I'm kind of glad that the kit comes with 3 of these in it, because one of them is practice. This is practice, this one. So then we go down here and we peel these off, fold them over. And the last ones. Oops, that one went a little crooked on me. Didn't have it quite scored correctly. I have a little problem here. Okay, let me put that one down first. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Well, it's not me. It's them. Looks like they're a little crooked. Yeah. No, it's me. Okay. Then she took these end pieces. Let's take the tape off both ends and just fold them over. Kind of reminds me of like a coin envelope. And then, okay, she folded these along the score line. Okay, this is where you really, really need to have a bone folder. Because these are really stiff. Okay, so it all goes like this. Now, she attaches the two bigger drawers, and I think one gets, now you see this right here I'm not happy about. When I folded this, it looked like in her video that she had extra score lines on here, but I don't think she did. Okay, this is going to bother me. But I think I can, when I cover it, I'll cover that up. Yeah, okay. So, I think one of these went down here, and another one went sort of up here. So I'm just going to review the video to make sure I get the placement correct. Okay, so we need to put some score tape on these two pieces. And she was using a really wide double-sided tape, so I think I'll just use two pieces on here. Same with this one. Okay, now a little difficult, I just press it from the inside. So my tape's there. And we'll put one aside for a second. We're going to take this and we take off the tape. Okay, and then she stuck this to the bottom of one of these flaps. She lines it up close to the edge. There we go. And so it sits like that. And then she put one on this flap, but she puts this one, where's my tape, and the top of there. So let's see. Take the tape off, or the protective coating that is, and let's see if we can get this lined up. Okay, how am I doing? I'm a little crooked. Now, I have a feeling this is where, because I'm using the craft cardstock for this one, I think a little glue would be better on these because I have a feeling they might peel off. And then what happens is, that should go in there, like that. And then we have our lid, and it should fit over top of that, and it does. And there we have our cute little box. And when you take the lid off, it explodes. Just like that. Okay. Some frustration here making the first one. As I said, there's three. There's a black, there's a white, and there's the craft. And now that I have figured out how to put that together, an instruction sheet would have been handy, but thank goodness she has a YouTube video. Now it's time to decorate it. Now, I will be doing that in the next sequence, but what I'm thinking right now in advance is I think it might be easier to decorate these pieces before you start gluing other pieces onto it. I don't know. I'll have to experiment. Mind you, yeah, okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. I'll have to think about this, how I'm going to do this, and that'll be in the next sequence. Okay, so I've decorated one of the boxes, but now I'm thinking I will decorate the first box that I put together. Now, you know, in the other box, what I did was I waited to assemble it after I got the background papers on it. I could put the background papers on here, and in fact, I've already got them cut out, but it's a little awkward. I may still use them, but I'm thinking of giving this box a little different theme. So I'm thinking of doing this in a steampunk kind of look. So already this is in a craft, so it looks a little bit aged. So I'm going to take out my Distress Oxide inks, and this is an experiment, and I'm going to use walnut stain, peeled paint, and vintage photo. And I have a ink applicator for each one of these. That's the walnut. Which one's the walnut? That's the walnut. That's the peeled paint, and it's the vintage photo. And I'm just going to combine these colors using some of Tim Holtz's methods here, just to give this a very aged look. So I'm going to start with the walnut ink. And I'm going to put them on fairly heavy, because this is a craft cardstock and these aren't showing up all that well on it, but I'm just going to see here by just layering some of the colors what's going to happen. Now it's a little awkward to do this, but I'm not going to get too concerned about how much of this is going on and where it's going. So this is the walnut ink first. And I'm just, basically I'm scrubbing it on. Okay, let's try the vintage. It's a little awkward to do this. But you'll see why I'm trying to get a fairly thick layer. Of these three colors. Because what I'm going to do next involves water. And you know that the oxide inks are reactive to water, and that's what gives them that really cool oxide look. But I'm just not sure how it's going to work on craft cardstock. I'm not going to do the insides of these boxes, but I will do the edges just to crunch them up. Okay, I've got a fair amount of ink on here, so now I'm going to grab my water bottle and I'm going to spritz. And I'm just letting it soak in. And we'll see what happens here. And I'm getting some modeling. I don't know if you can see that. And I want it to be very drippy, drippy. I want it to look very weathered. Okay, I probably should have put the lid on my paint, on my inks beforehand. Okay, I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. Now this is probably going to take a while to dry. It's drying pretty quick, but it's definitely changing. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's definitely giving it an aged look. So I'll finish drying this and I'll come back in a moment. So I've got this box done, and I did add some of the papers that I had cut out before, but I aged them using the same method as I used on the sides and the inside and the outside of the box, and I tore the paper as well. And it gives it a very vintagey look, as you can see the inside. Now that's just my base papers. I haven't done any other embellishment yet. I will in one of the next segments. But I thought that was a little different thing to do than just to cover it with decorative paper. So I put together the third box in the set. Remember, it comes with craft black and white, so I put the white together, and I think I'm going to try something a little different. And if you see here, this ink, I have a little device which I have not used in ages called an e-brush. And essentially what it is, it's like a, I got my cord tangled up here, give me a second. It is like a airbrush that professional painters would use, except this one works with Sharpies, Spectrum Noir markers, all kinds of different markers with these adapters, and it essentially blows the air out through the tip. And I'll show you. I've put in a dark blue Sharpie in here right now, and let's turn it on. It has 3 settings, slow, loud. But you can see I can spray paint. So my idea here is to spray paint this box, and I'm just going to go all over it and not worry about where my color is or how much of it. I'm going to use different colors. And so I'm getting a bit of a speckled effect. And we'll do the inside as well. Now you get more spray the longer you hold it in one spot. And because Sharpies are alcohol-based or solvent-based, I don't have to worry about when if I put any wet medium on this, of any of this running. Let's do the lid. Now you do have to be careful about overspray. That's why I have the big sheet of newsprint down here. And I'm not going to throw that newsprint page away, because I could use it for something else later on. Okay, so let's take out the blue Sharpie and let's add another color. Let's go for a little lighter blue. See how this works. Okay, this one isn't spraying anything. Sometimes you have to adjust the pen. There we go. So I'm going to just do a little finer adjustment. Okay, let's carry on. Sometimes your markers in these can be very temperamental, like this one's being. I'm not getting as much as I did with the blue. Again, as I said, sometimes the markers are a little temperamental. Okay, I think I'll try a little different one. See if I can get one in this color spectrum. That Sharpie may have been a little dried out, so let's just see. Oops. There's a little bit coming out in this one. I get it really close. I am getting some, but I'm not getting a lot out of this one. But I'm just going to... Yeah, it is coming out. It's very fine. It's kind of fun to do this. Now, whether or not you can get one of these anymore, I don't know. I've had this for quite a few years now. It was not a cheap toy. I think it was probably about $100. Plus, you buy all these adapters that hold the pens, and they can start to run you into, I think they're maybe $15 a piece or something like that. It does come with one, I think, but I'm not sure what that one holds. But it's a great way to use your markers. And there's lots of other possibilities too, like you could do stenciling work. Ooh, stenciling work. Now there's an idea for this. I might do that after I get more color on here. Now, as I said, some of the markers are juicier than others, so they work a little better. This color that I'm using right now is coming out, but it's very fine. Now, you might wonder, should you be wearing a face mask for this? There's really no odor. And it's a fairly concentrated stream, so I think you're okay. But you might want to be less daring than me. And you might want to wear a mask when you're doing something like this. So let's switch colors again. It's that little pink. See how this one works. Oh yeah, this one comes out really good. Okay. Well, it was coming out really good. Now this one is a little smelly. So I guess even though they're all Sharpies, different ones maybe have a little bit more stronger smell than others. Also, I noticed it's where to aim it. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've used this. I forgot the little quirks about it. Okay, let's change colors. Let's add a little orange and see how this works. Too good. No, this one's giving me trouble. Let's try yellow. I'm getting a little bit out of this. So you build up layers of color until you get a look you want. Okay, so I'm going to continue building color and then I'll be back and show you the final result. So this is what I've got now, spraying some of the color on this, and you can see when it's closed up, it's going to make a very attractive little background, very hippy-dippy sort of thing. And now I've got the lid, so I'm going to try a little experiment. I've got this stencil, and I've got a black Sharpie, and I'm going to try to stencil this shape on here. So, wish me luck. Okay, let's see what we got. Whoa, cool. Cool. I think I'm going to do that around the outside of this box. Now, the tricky part's going to be, how do I get it? Okay, I'm going to try this and see how this works. looks good. Yep, that looks pretty good. Let's just finish this section off. Yeah, we gotta do this section, so I better prop it up. Cool. That looks very cool. Now, do I want to do the inside, or do I want to leave the inside blank? Maybe I'll just do a little in the inside. I'll come back. Okay, so there we have it. This one is now done, and I think it looks really quite cute. Of course, I'm not finished. This is just the basics of the embellishments. So here are my 3 boxes now. Remember, I got these all out of one kit, and I've done them in 3 different ways. So the next segment, I'm going to get into the finer embellishment of this and maybe put a couple of surprises on the inside as well. And if you're interested in what I'm using, as I said, it's called the eBrush, and you can do a search online for it. I don't know if you'll find it on Amazon or not. As I said, I bought this quite a few years ago, and it was relatively expensive. It works okay. It's not professional level, but it's kind of different. And I haven't used it in a long time, so I thought I'd get it out and use it. Okay. So now I'm going to do some final embellishing of these little boxes, and I'm going to do this one first. And this particular box, as you remember, I did with torn up vintage-like style papers. And we'll just open it up in here, and I aged everything using distress inks and oxide inks and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking this has got sort of a vintage steampunky sort of look. So I've gone through my stash to find some things. I found these 2 boxes of what's called paraphernalia, which come from Vern Industries, which is actually, if you know Mike Deacon, it's his partner Ian's little company, and he makes these cute little gauges and things like this. His stuff is really interesting, and so I'm thinking some of these might look good. So I'm just going to put these off to the side, put them out here so I can see them. because if I tuck them back in the box, I probably will forget all about them. Set those aside. And then, of course, if you're doing steampunk, what do you think of? You think of gears. So I've got this little bag here of various wood chips. So I'm just going to go through here. I know I've got some gears in here. So I'm just going to pull out the gears. It's kind of like a whole little cut corner thing, so that might be good. Put those over there. And also I'm thinking maybe some of these little hearts. There's another gear. There's some little corner pieces here might look cute. Another gear. I don't know if there's anything else in here that I'm going to want to use. The little hearts might be fun in spots too, so I might pull those out. And what's that, a ladybug or something? I think that'll do from there. These are bird cages. They might look kind of cute on it too, but I think I'll stick with what I've already pulled out. I probably don't need a lot of things, but I do intend to do a lot of layering on the outside of the box. So I'll just get rid of these out of our way. I really don't have a definite plan in mind, but whatever will happen. Okay, here's some Tim Holtz bits and pieces. Some belt buckles. Those might be interesting on the edge. I'll leave out the brads because you can always use brads. These little clips. What else have I got here? Some of these little face plates. They might look good on the front as well. I've pulled out some Tim Holtz, what do you call them? Big chat and small talk words. I found this that says history, tradition, cherish, memory, family. That might work. And then I pulled out, of course, and you know how I love these, Tim Holtz's paper dolls. They're always fun. And then a couple of Tim Holtz's ephemera packages as well that are vintage looking. So I have a fair number of things here. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is going to figure out what's going to go in these little drawers. And I'm thinking here, 2 little mini albums could go in these. And let's see, what size do I need to make them? I think these are 3 by 3, the drawers. They are. So 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 would fit nicely in there. So I'm going to see if I can find some, I'm going to look for Tim Holtz paper that I've got, and I do have lots of that. And I think I'll make a little tiny mini album. I'm just going to do it as an accordion fold kind of thing. So I'm not going to do that on camera. I'll come back and show you the end result. So I've created this little booklet, and I'm going to show you how I created that in a couple of seconds here. But this little booklet will fit very nicely into the drawer of this box, just like that. And I'll show you what it looks like inside. So I have this little ribbon as the enclosure. And I'm keeping it sort of vintage-like. So I had this ribbon that's got this little white line along it. I thought that worked out pretty good. And I just took a piece of Tim Holtz cardstock, and I just cut one that's about 2 by 3/4 in width and almost 12 inches in length, and just did a fold. I used my scoreboard for this. A fold at every 2.75 inches, and it just folds up like an accordion. Simple as that, and it fits right into the box. It's a little smaller than the drawers themselves. And then I embellished it. So what I did was I found some more of Tim Holtz's paper that had these. Let me show you the paper. This is what the paper looked like, except it was 12 by 12. And I just simply cut out enough of these little squares to put on the inside of each of these pages. Just open it up here. There we go. So there we have each one of these in here. Now I went over the edges of the album itself and each of these little cards that I've put inside of it with some black ink just to age it up. And I did these on both sides. I also added some of Tim Holtz's small talk words, just as something, maybe as a theme. Someone could put a little picture in here, put a little journaling in here, whatever they want. And on the back side, the same. There's more places to put pictures. And I did secure the ribbon on the back page. I used my Gorilla Glue for this, and then I put one of these over top of it, and that just makes sure that that's going to stay put. And on the cover, I just added one of Tim Holtz's little paper dolls as well, because I love those, and I think it's very vintage looking. And with the ribbon, it's just a simple enclosure. Do a simple bow. Just like that. And that'll drop into the drawer. So I'm going to start making another one of these for the second drawer, and I'm just going to show you what I did. So I've already gone over the edges of this piece and folded it with some black ink, and I did the same with these little cards. And really, I'm not getting too complicated in how I'm sticking these down. I'm just using my tape runner. You could use wet glue, you could use Gorilla Glue, you could use double-sided tape. Whatever you have, whatever your fancy is. And I'm just eyeballing it. So I've got sort of a border, because these are a little smaller than the actual pages themselves. And I'm not getting too uptight or concerned about how straight these are. I mean, I'm trying to keep them relatively straight and even. And I'll do these two inner spots first because I want to leave the back part free to use as an anchor for my ribbon. Just trying to see the writing on this, see if there's a right side to this or right way up. And then for the ribbon, all I did was just fold this up, took a little bit of my Gorilla Glue, and just put a line of it in about the center of that back piece, and then just stuck my ribbon down, making it relatively even. I will be trimming the ribbon afterwards. This Gorilla Glue dries fairly quickly. Oops, except when it's stuck to my fingers. And just take another one of these, and I am using Gorilla Glue on these because I do want this. There's going to be some stress put on this when people open and close it and tie it up, so I do want it to be well reinforced so it doesn't pull away. Just hold that down for a few seconds to let it get a grip. And on the front cover, yeah, it always figures, doesn't it? This should have been the front cover. I shouldn't have put the ribbon on that part, because then these ones in here, when I do it on this side, are going to be upside down. But you want to know something? I don't think it really matters. It's not that noticeable. So we're just not going to tell anybody, right? So I'm going to use another one of these. I think I like that one. Again, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape for this, because this will be good enough to hold these together. Put the cap on my Gorilla Glue so it doesn't dry up. And let's see, we're going to need another Tim Holtz paper doll on the front of this one. And these come in various sizes, so here's one, bunch of kids. Hey, I think that one would work. I don't stress out over exactly which ones I'm going to put on the covers. Let's get these ones picked up where I'll have paper dolls all over the place. Okay, and with these guys I'm going to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue on them as well. Mainly because they are sort of printed on a glossy type of paper, and the Gorilla Glue will hold them a little better. But again, it's whatever you prefer. And now on the inside, I want to put some words like I did on the last one. So grab my small talk words here, and I'm not that concerned about what these say. And they're already sticky, so I don't have to glue them. So that one says, own your dreams. They're all very sort of generic. They might inspire somebody to find pictures or do some journaling that goes with those. That one said be original. This one says be fearless. And live in the moment. And on the back, I want to put something across there a little longer. This one's good. Be in love with your life. And there we go. We've got another little booklet for the other drawer ready to go. So let's just tie a bow here. I'm wondering I should maybe put some words up here. The other one, if you'll notice, already had on the little piece of paper that goes here where to go, and I thought I'd leave that as a title, but this one doesn't have that. So, oh, this one's good. Attitude is everything. There we go. So let's tie this up. Just trim our ribbon a little bit. And so there we have the two little booklets that are going to go in the drawers inside the explosion box. Now, let's put those aside. And now it comes time to decorate this box on the outside. Now, one thing I'm looking at this right off the bat is I definitely think I need to go around the edges with some black ink. So I think that'll just give it a little bit more of a definition. Yes, this makes it look a little bit more vintage style. And same with the drawers. I don't know if you can see this. I think I'm popping out of the shot here. Definitely gives it a more vintage look. And I think I should do that on this piece. I'm not sure why I didn't do that when I first aged this box. But yes, this definitely gives it a little bit more of a vintage look to it. Okay. So let's deal with the inside first. So since this is for pictures or things like that, I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of my trusty paper dolls from Tim Holtz, lace them out, and I think I'm just going to put them in random spots. Now what I can do is I can leave when I stick these two down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue, but I'm only going to stick these down on one side so they'll serve like a paper clip. So you could slide something over the edge of them and they'll act. Oops. Okay, when you get Gorilla Glue on your fingers and you touch paper, guess what happens? Paper sticks to you. Actually, I'm having a little trouble getting this to stick. Gorilla Glue sticks everything. I'll just hold this down for a second. We're going to do the same with this one over here. Just putting it on the edge. Just hold it down there for a second or two so it takes hold. Okay, we'll let those dry. Now I have this underneath piece and this above piece, which I think I may just leave just as they are, but I'm wondering if I should stick anything. I don't think I'll stick anything on here, but these sides, when they close up, or maybe they don't need anything either. Maybe I'll just leave those blank too. Now, I do have a couple of these little cards left over, so I could just take these and just stick them under there. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is get out my corner rounder. I'm just going to round the corners of this, just for some variety. Now that means I've just taken some of the ink off on those edges, so I need to do a little re-inking. Probably enough residue on this to just do it quickly, and there is. And just slip it under there. This one under there. So then person has more surfaces to put pictures or to add some wording to them. And I see I've got a little glue oozing out here. So just take my finger and wipe that off because I do not want it to stick. Okay, so that's the inside. Now, outside. What do we want to do with it? Well, let's look at my ephemera pile. I'm just going to put these paper dolls over here to the side for a second because I will come back and use those, I am sure. So, I have got some of these little wooden corners, these hearts. More hearts, more corners, and then of course I've got the gears. Now, let's just open these up. These are Mike Deacon's. These are not Tim Holtz, this particular package. These are laser cut, and they're corners with gears. And I'm thinking, let's see how they worked size-wise. Yeah, I think they would look really good right there. But now the question comes, do I want to color these or make them look more metal? Actually, I kind of like the wood look. I could, of course, emboss them. I could put some embossing powder on them. But I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to try and rough them up a little bit with some black ink and see how that looks. Kind of grungy. That's kind of the effect I want. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'll do this one as well. that looks pretty good. So let's see here. Figure out where the front of my box is going to be. I think it's going to be right there. Just going to put the lid on it for a second. Now, this could be a problem, because I wonder if I dare try, if I leave that open, let's go over top. Makes the box lid kind of tight. Okay, could I take these off a little bit? Could take off that top here. So let's see. Fairly easy to cut. Now, if I put that right there, will that give me enough clearance? Yes, I think so. So I need to just put a little black ink on that so you can't see the cut mark. And now the question becomes, oh, that's not the way I had it before, was it? No, it wasn't. I actually had it. Did I have it that? Yeah, I did have it that way. Okay. Still just touching the edge of that box lid. But actually, that's okay. So, get out my Gorilla Glue. Now, wait, before I do this, do I want to put something else on here? Yes, I do. And I want to put it, do I want to put it forward? Or I think behind, and I think, okay, this thing's going to keep opening up. So I'm going to get a little paper clip and keep it closed. Yeah, that solves my problem. So I'm going to take a little Gorilla Glue. No, I'm not yet. I'm not using the Gorilla Glue yet. I'm going to grab a paper doll. She's too big. I like the fact that these paper dolls do come in various sizes. Ooh, this little guy. It's like he's got his hand up. No, that's not going to work, but it might work like this. Okay, I kind of like that idea. Looks like he's got his little hand. Again, though, the box lid is going to be a problem. It might fit just underneath it, though. I think it will. Okay, that'll give it a dimensional effect. I could raise them. Okay. I do like layering, and I'm thinking here, little guy and his parents. Maybe somebody else. Little dog. Boy and his dog. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then I think I put a word thing over the top. So let's see. I have some here that are a little bigger. Here's one that says thoughts, understanding, wishes, yourself, remember. Remember, that might be good. I'm going to put that one right up here. Now the box lid's going to cover this, but that's okay. It'll be like a little extra hidden message when the box is open. And let's glue down these other bits. So again, Gorilla Glue, because this is the outside of the box, it'll get more handling. And I'm definitely going to use Gorilla Glue on the laser cut wood piece. This one I'm going to have to hold down for a bit. So I want it to get a good hold. And then this little guy. Now, do I want to take him, pop him up more? I think he'll be fine. I don't think I need to raise him any higher. I want him to look like he's resting his arm on this gear. And his little dog. Because I just need the glue on the dog's legs. Okay, so this gives me an idea of what I want to do, and I want to put something on each side of the box on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that and come back and show you the final product. So I've finished embellishing the box, and here's what it looks like. Now this is the top. So what I did with the top was I put one of those Tim Holtz little, I don't know what you call them, label embellishment on the top, attached it with a couple of brads, and put another word, what do you call them? Small chats or whatever sticker in here. It says blessings. And then you can see my sides. And I put a black ribbon, same ribbon I used on the little books inside, all the way around the edges of the top. And where's my front here? This is my front. So on the front I've got some of Tim Holtz's people. These guys, if their hats are a little bit cut off, but that's just as a surprise when we take off the lid. And some gears over here that I had darkened with some black ink and added a word chip, and there's another hidden little person in here. All will be revealed when the lid comes off. Same here, and same here. So you take off the lid of our exploding box and open it up, and it all opens up like this. And you can see we've got little places here to put things, and I didn't add any extra embellishments to the sides here of these. And then we have in the little drawers, we have our little booklets that you saw before that all open up, and you can add things to them. So I think this is kind of cute, but I do have two more boxes. Let's get the front. I haven't decided which part I like to be the front on here yet. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. Whatever the person who gets this can do it any way they wish. And my lid just goes on here. It takes a little time to get used to it. And there we have it. All done. So I have two more boxes, as I said. So in my next segment, I will decorate those, and we'll do something a little bit different. Because if you remember, this kit came with 3 different colored boxes. So each one I have done the background different. So I'm going to do the embellishments different. Now, as I mentioned, there's other ways you can decorate these little boxes. So I took the box that was made out of the black paper, and I put the Art Nouveau kind of graphic 45 on all the parts of it. And then I got myself some of those iCraft flowers, and I really love the iCraft flowers. They are paper, but they're very moldable, and they're very inexpensive. So what I did was I just took a variety of these and sort of collaged them on the sides. Oops, I got a little glue here on the side. There must have been something on my mat. Anyways, so you can see I've put a little bit of this, little of these flowers on each side. Yeah, I definitely set my box in wet glue. Not good. Anyways, let's carry on. So opening up the lid, the inside of the box. Now, of course, just like the other one, we have a series of, or a couple of drawers, and I just put in little things on here that people can either write on or put pictures on or do whatever they want. There's one here as well. And then, of course, in each of these drawers is one of the little booklets right here. And I made it the same way as I made it on the steampunk box. It's just an accordion fold. And I just cut out from the paper some interesting graphics and used the Tim Holtz little saying stickers, whatever those are called, something words, can't remember. Anyways, and put those together. Reinforced my ribbon on the back. And this just ties up. So it's just a little something in the drawer. And there's actually room in the drawers to put possibly little tiny pictures or little keepsakes underneath or on top of these little books, or they can take these little books out completely. That would be up to the individual who receives this explosion box. I'm just getting my bow done here. And it just drops right back into that little drawer. And so this all shuts up just like that. Put our lid on, and we're good to go. So that takes us to the end of this series on putting together the iCraft exploding boxes. And this is the one you saw in the last segment. There is a third box, this box. Now this is the one, if you remember, I sprayed on the Sharpie ink using my e-brush. And I kind of like it just the way it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any further embellishing of this box. I'm just going to keep it in reserve. And this might make a great little quickie gift where I could personalize it for the person I might be giving it to. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So there we go. We have our little boxes all done.